Today, let us discuss about the implementation methodologies. So, yesterday we started discussing about the project types. In that, we have identified one of the project type is the implementation, right? So, let us try to understand how the project will start and how it will get ended. So what is each stage, what kind of activities we will be perform in each stage. So let us understand, there are three type of implementation methodologies will be available for Microsoft Dynamics AX. Okay, so let's see what is the one by one. So the first methodology is agile methodology. Second methodology is waterfall methodology. The third one is source step methodology. Okay, so these are the very famous methodologies which will be using by the companies when they are implementing Microsoft Dynamics AX. Okay, it depends upon the company. If they are very comfortable to use the source set methodology, they will follow the instructions given by the source set methodology. If few companies are very interested and they wanted to follow the instructions of agile methodology, they will follow the agile methodology instructions. Any kind of methodology if they follow, so almost all points, all the instructions will be common in each methodology. So that is why any methodology can be selected. That is up to company's option. So this agile methodology nowadays it is getting trended, like most of the companies started using agile methodology for D365 implementation. If any company wanted to implement D365 in their organization, then they are planning to use an agile methodology. So this source step methodology is one of the famous methodology for a Microsoft Dynamics implementation, but this is for a 2012 and 2009. They have been using this methodology to implement a 2012 version or 2009 version. So if I say any methodology, almost all the steps will be common. Maybe the duration or the instructions, 1 or 2 points will be extra, or that will be reducing in the methodologies. That's all. So now let's try to understand one methodology so that you can just compare, you can add the same points to other methodology also. So now let's start with the source step methodology, because still companies are using source step methodology for D365 implementation also. This is one of the famous and known methodology. So that's why let's learn the source step methodology. Okay. So let's take the yesterday's example. I wanted to start, I am a business person. I just wanted to start a business with a 10 crores of capital amount. It's a mobile business. Okay. So I have approached a Accenture team, right? So in Accenture, we will be meeting sales executives, sales representatives. Many people will be there. After multiple discussions, the project has been confirmed. So Accenture has given an agreement that they are going to complete the project within 1.5 years. Okay. So within 1.5 years, they are going to complete the project. So within this 1.5 years, what are the activities they are going to perform? So what kind of help I need to give as a business person to the Accenture team? So the first step is diagnostics. So what do you mean by diagnostics? So diagnostics is nothing but, it's very important in the interview point of view also. They will ask you or did you work on any implementation? If no, but still do you have any idea about any one of the implementation methodology? Then you have to explain each point to them so that you can able to answer that kind of questions and all. So please be concentrate on this steps and all. So the diagnostic is nothing but it is a business requirement gathering stage. What do you mean by business requirement gathering? So, in the initial discussion, I have given a high level of information as a business person to Accenture team. So they told that okay, fine, we are okay. We can develop a D365 in your like for your business. But I need to know in detail about your business, each step by step, from where you are buying mobiles, how many mobiles you are buying, what kind of mobiles you are buying. Are they only belongs to iPhone or OnePlus or Redmi? What kind of categories? What is the warehouse you are using? What is the site? What is the product configurations you are using? Each point I wanted to gather the information. Okay, that is called as a business requirement gathering stage. In this particular stage, project manager, okay, project manager and the functional consultants will involve during this phase, and they will try to capture all the information whatever is required to implement a D365 in the business. So this is very important stage. If you are not able to understand the requirement, then you will not be able to give the proper output to the client. That is why you should able to understand. If you have any queries, everything you should ask in the same stage. This is called as a diagnostic stage. How long it will take? This will take, maybe it depends upon the company duration and all. In this example I have mentioned 1.5 year is a project duration, right? So project manager will decide how much time this process has to continue. Maybe 1 month or 1.5 month. It depends, like per day they will connect for a 3 hours of online sessions, like they will be having a continuous meetings with the client and all, and they will try to gather each step by step information. So maybe you can consider 30 days is a duration. Okay. Complete as a business, I have given all the requirement, like myself, or I will be having my team, right? As a business I will be having so much of team, so they or anybody can anybody can interact, and they have given a requirement to the Accenture team. As a project manager, as a solution architect and functional consultants, everybody will take the requirement and they will analyze, they will start analyzing the information which is provided by the client. So client is nothing but myself. Okay. So now the second stage will be FRD, functional requirement document. FRD, very important. Okay, so you have went to the many meetings and you have gathered the information. What did you understand from that meeting? So you need to prepare a document based upon your understanding of the business requirement. So that is called as a functional requirement document. Who will be preparing this? Functional consultants will prepare a FRD document. Maybe a project manager will split the work. Like for example, in the finance, 3 candidates are there. So what project manager will do? He will divide the work and he will give 3 topics to 3 consultants separately. So you have to concentrate on your topic and you need to prepare a functional requirement document. How the document looks like, what kind of document you need to prepare. So you have to write whatever you understood. What is the exact requirement of the business? Okay, you will be writing exact requirement, whatever you understood during the meeting, same points you will make a note here, and you will mention whether that requirements asked by client is available in the system or not. In the D365 application it is there or not, that also you need to mention. Okay, so there is a format. Okay, for every document, few companies will follow some kind of format. You should prepare the functional requirement document in the same format, and you should submit to the project manager for review. Once project manager reviews the document, he will send to the client. And the client also will review the document, and he will say, yes, of course, this is what my exact requirement. If any modifications is there, any requirement has been changed or something, they will highlight, client will highlight, and they will ask you to modify the document as well. Because in a company's document or email is a proof that you have agreed. So once the document is perfect, then they will tell you that you can proceed for the further kind of stages. So they will give you the sign off. What do you mean by sign off? Sign off is nothing but I am fine with the document. There is no corrections required in the document. You can proceed further. That kind of signature client will be giving to the Accenture team. So that is called as a functional requirement document. So in the functional requirement document, you need to prepare a exact requirement of the client, and you need to mention the requirements available in the D365. Okay. So how long this will take? This is also up to the duration mentioned by the project manager. So maybe they may give you some 30 days of time to prepare. Since I am giving very lengthy, like I have given a very long period here, 1.5 years. So that's why I am giving 30 days, 30 days. It will not be exactly 30 days in real time. Okay. So it will be a 1 week or 10 days also. They may give the time. So 30 days. Now, after that, what will happen? Gap analysis. I need the third step is gap analysis. What do you mean by gap analysis? The word itself is saying that gap. There is some gap. See, you went to the meeting, you have understood the business requirement, and you prepared a FRD document, and you found out what are the options are available in D365. And definitely there will be some kind of scenarios which cannot be covered in a D365 application. Definitely there will be, right? One or two or three. There are if it is a completely customization, if it is completely different kind of scenarios they are expecting, which we don't have in D365, definitely those kind of scenarios will be there. That means there is not a very standard functionality. D365 is a standard functionality. If we don't have a standard, like if customer is asking extra things which is not available in the standard functionality, that is called as a gap analysis. The requirement which is not there in the standard application will be calling as a gap analysis. Okay. See, for example, I will tell you what is exactly. You have a WhatsApp. Everyone knows how to use a WhatsApp. In WhatsApp, we have an option to call or video call, message, send videos, photos, everything. These kind of options are available. Okay. Now, I wanted to have a one more option, extra option. What kind of option I'm expecting? So currently the status will be visible. If you put the status, it will be visible till 24 hours, right? So I don't want that kind of functionality. I want whenever I put the status, everybody should get one second. So I just wanted a new change that when I put the status, everybody should get the notification that Anusha has mentioned something in her status and all. That kind of functionality, is it available in WhatsApp currently? No. That is called as a gap analysis. What is available? Only you can mention the status which will be visible for 24 hours. But what are you expecting? You wanted to have a status for a longer period, and also you wanted to get a notification also. This extra thing you don't have. The extra thing, whatever I'm asking, you please prepare a document and mention that Anusha is expecting some extra functionality. The functionality called as whenever she put down the status, other people has to get a notification. Along with that, the status should be longer period. It should be visible for a longer period. This is the two requirements she is expecting. That is called as a gap analysis. Okay, in the application point of view also, there is no functionality available in the application, but still client is asking. So if client is asking, I cannot deny, right? So I have to do something to make it available. So I will mention that information in the gap analysis. So there is some small format for a gap analysis, like the content, what is the exact requirement, and what are the missing factors and all. So gap analysis document they will prepare. Who will prepare? Functional consultants only will prepare. Okay, so I am done with the FRD. I am done with the gap analysis. Okay, now I have identified that there is some gap. Okay, what should I do to fill that gap? What should I do? You should do some design. You have to. Now I have asked that everybody should get notification when I put down the status. So I have to do the design. Maybe it will take 1 month or 1.5 months. I don't bother, but I wanted to have that functionality. So definitely I will start working how to do that kind of design. In the similar way, in the system point of view also, we need to modify the system which will be helpful to the business also. So what I need to do, I need to design it now. Functional design document, FDD, very important. Okay, so as a functional consultant, you have to design now. You have identified a gap and how to fill that gap. What you need to do. So this kind of thinking we should have, and you should be able to think and design, and you have to imagine, if I have this kind of information, okay, if I ask the technical team to write a code here, he will fetch the information from there. So these kind of virtual analysis you will be doing, and you will prepare a functional design document. In this design document, what you will write, you will clearly mention this functionality has to, like whatever the new gap analysis which we have identified, right? Take that one of the point from the gap analysis and how to rectify that gap. So you have to give some kind of instructions. I need to do some kind of coding here. Once I do the coding, then my functionality will be fine, so that I can use this kind of scenario. Like that, you have to write the FDD document. So it's very difficult stage to prepare a FDD document and all, because you should have very clear clarity about the design. Then once FDD document is completed, okay, once FDD document is completed, you have to send for a review. in few cases project manager will have a D365 knowledge, like he has a application knowledge. In that case he will only review. In there are few cases where managers will not have a knowledge into the application, right? Then functional lead or some kind of superior person will be there, like solution architect and all. They will review the documents whatever we prepare it. Once they give approval, then only we should confirm the once they approve, then only we have to proceed further to go for some kind of other discussions and all. So once I prepare a functional design document based upon the gap analysis document, you will prepare a functional design document. Okay. Now, I have prepared a FDD. What is the next activity? So after preparing a FDD, you need to take the approval. Everything is done. This is the time you need to send this FDD to the technical team. You have the technical team with you in the company who will do the development. So there is a technical consultants, functional consultants in the project, right? So technical consultant role will come from now. So you have to send this FDD document to technical consultant. Maybe your manager will say this guy will do this development, so please share this document to so and so guy. So you will be sending that document in the email, and you will schedule a call with the technical person and you will explain what is the design you have prepared and what are you expecting from the technical person. So what kind of coding you are expecting from him, where he needs to write a code, everything you should tell to the technical person. Okay. So after the discussion, like after the call, he will, if he is having any kind of queries, who technical person has any queries, he will ask the functional consultant, so that the clarification is like whatever the clarity is required for a technical person, that will be clear. So once he is very clear about the requirement, technical person will prepare a technical design document. This is called as a TDD. This is nowhere involvement of functional consultant. You no need to bother what is this document and all. This is completely written by the technical person. Maybe he will write some kind of what kind of code they are writing, what kind of AOT they are using, whether they are using a table level, whether they are using a field level information, all kind of information they will prepare it in the technical design document. Okay. Okay. Technical person also prepared a technical design document. What is the next activity? He has to do the development, right? He has to write some kind of coding. So coding, is it so easy to write a code? Of course it's not so easy. He has to think what kind of code he has to write. If I write this code here, where it will impact? It should not disturb a standard functionality and it should add a new functionality. How can I do that? This kind of so much of analysis will be taken care by the technical person, right? So that is called as a development. He will take some kind of time to do the development. So during this development stage, technical person will keep approaching you as approaching functional consultant to show his code whether it is working properly or not. So there will be multiple discussions. Okay, see, one, you are thinking that there will be a one discussion and he will prepare a design document. No, after that he will be continuously calling you, or we need to approach him, where is the status, like what kind of code he is writing, is it working or not. So multiple discussions will be happening between a functional consultant and technical consultant during the development stage. Once the development is completed, what developer will ask you? So developer will ask, can you please test your scenario? Can you please test your requirement, whatever you got from the client, whether it is working or not? Please test in my mission only. Okay, so then we need to take a control of developer mission and we need to do the testing. Okay, so we will get some kind of clarity once we do the testing, whether it is working or not, that we will be able to understand. Okay, this is in the development stage. Now, what is the next stage? So here in a developer environment, you have tested it. Okay, so you told developer that this is perfectly working fine, you can proceed further. What developer will do now? Once the code is ready, once he written that information, he will move or copy, but don't say copy in our ERP terminology, like in our AX terminology, moving the data. Okay, I am moving the information from one environment to another environment. What is the environment? I will tell you. Okay, so what developer will do? He will move the code from one environment to other environment. So in a testing environment, he will move the entire code of whatever he written currently. Okay, in that, what you need to do as a functional consultant, you need to do the configuration. To test the scenario, you need to do some kind of setups, right? Like I need to install WhatsApp first of all. I need to have the contact numbers. For each contact number, I should save the naming, some Bindu, Shravan, like that I need to save. After that, I need to put the status. Like this kind of testing I need to do. So if before putting the status and all, I should have the WhatsApp installed and I should have the contacts. So these kind of configuration you will be doing in your mobile. In the similar way, in the system point of view also, if I wanted to post some transaction, I should do some kind of configuration. That we'll see it in a later sessions. So that setup, that configuration, you should do it in the system. Setup or configuration, the same word. Okay, sometimes we will call as a setup, sometimes we will call it as a configuration. Okay, I have done the, as a functional consultant, I have made the system is ready. Now I will do the testing. Okay, I will do the testing multiple ways. If I get any error, immediately I need to report back to the my developer. Okay, so testing, initial testing will be done by the functional consultant. Later, in a big companies like I can say Accenture or TCS or Infosys and all, they will be having a separate team called as a testing team. Okay, they will come into the picture. They will take the training from the functional consultant how to do the testing. Okay, so then they will start doing the testing. Okay, in small companies and all, they will not have multiple teams and all, so only functional consultant has to prepare a environment. He has to do the testing. Okay, but in big companies and all, initial testing will be done by the functional consultant, remaining testing will be taken care by the testing team. Okay, so once the testing is done, what we need to do here, we need to prepare a test cases. What do you mean by test cases? Test cases is nothing but what did you do? What kind of testing you have done? So I just created WhatsApp. I have added a contacts. I have added a status. When I add the status, it went to the notification to Bindu and Shravan, these are the two contacts. That's all. My testing is completed. That is what your expectation, right? Perfect. The same points you need to maintain in the test cases also. Okay. In the test case also, I have created this so and so. I posted the transaction and it has been posted perfectly, and my testing is completed. Testing is passed. So that is what you need to do it in a testing phase. So there is another phase. After testing, okay, deployment. What do you mean by deployment? As I told you, in a company, there are multiple environments. Okay. Development environment, testing environment, production environment. Mostly these are the three every company should have. What is a development environment? Only developers, technical team will have the access to this development environments. So every technical person is having their own development mission where they will do the developments. Once they done the development and once the code is ready, code is correct, then they will copy the information to testing environment. Along with the code, they will move the information to testing environment. In this testing environment, as a functional consultant or as a normal end user or as a testing team, anybody will have access. Okay, no one will have access to development mission. Okay, only we will be having access to testing environment where I can do multiple ways of testing. So once my testing is completed, I am done, then my data will be moving to production environment. This is one of the very important environment in the real time. You should not touch any single point or single configuration also in the production environment. This is purely having access to the client only. This environment is belongs to client. You should not post, you should not do changes without any approvals and all. If you wanted to do some kind of testing, you should use a testing environment only. In testing also, they will be having multiple environments. Testing one environment, testing two, and wherever you want, you can do it. But please try to remember, production environment cannot be touched by consultants. Like if the client asked you to do, then only you should do it, otherwise you should not do it. If you do some kind of mistake in production environment, definitely you will be escalating and maybe you may be in a danger also. That kind of it depends upon the client. Okay, if client is very harsh person, definitely they will escalate you and they will ask you to remove from the organization also. That kind of policies also will be there. So that's why whenever you are doing some kind of testing and all, please make sure to remember in which environment you are doing testing. How can I find out in which environment I am there? So that I will show you tomorrow, how to find out in which environment you are there. Okay, so this is will be having for developer, this is for client, this is for our testing purpose. Moving the data from one environment to other environment will be calling as a deployment. Okay, done. I have moved the code to production environment. It is ready to use. Okay, the environment is ready for a business to use this. Before that, how can I use it? I told you, right? I am not from a ERP background or I'm not from a Dynamics background. If I am from that background, definitely I will not approach you for a help or for a implementation. So now it's a time for a functional consultant. You should give me a training for me, user training. Otherwise, if you don't like, there will be, if you ask me to use a WhatsApp, I don't know anything about WhatsApp. You should teach me first of all, then I can use it, right? In the same way, user training. So Accenture functional consultants will prepare some kind of schedules, and they will start giving a training to business. Maybe how many business people are there, that all depends upon the business, right? So there are 3 to 4 people who has to use this application. For them, they will give a user training. So in the user training sessions, UAT sessions, most of the people might heard about this UAT sessions. User training sessions will be happening. In the same sessions, user acceptance test. So I am done, I am fine with this training, I am able to access the production environment. So this kind of agreement they have to give, they have to give the sign off also. And we need to give some kind of user manuals. What do you mean by user manuals? Hope you might see in these user manuals. If you buy any electronic, not only electronic, if you buy any item, if you buy a laptop, so how to use this laptop, where is the start button, where is the end button, everything they have they will mention in a single, some kind of a small booklet will be there in the box. And we never open that, I'm sure. Okay, so we never open and we never see what is the instructions given and all, but there is a user manual providing for each kind of electronic items. In the similar way, for this application also, we need to prepare the entire document, how to use this application and all. And we need to give this user manuals to client, so that in future if he get any doubt and all, he will open the user manuals, he will follow the instructions of that. So I'm done with the user training, user manuals has been given, I got a UAT acceptance also. Now it's a time for a go live. What do you mean by go live? Most of the people might see says this word, right? Today is my go live. Go live is nothing but in this day they will fix one date, maybe 19th February we need to go for a live. What they will do on that live day, they will post a transaction, single transaction or 2 transactions in the production environment. That is called as a go live. On from there onwards, they will start using a production environment. So as a Accenture team, after go live, they need to support 2 months or 3 months. It depends upon the agreement between the business and the Accenture to the client. So after supporting, then it's all depends upon the other things and all.